Good morning students, welcome to C++ class. In the last class already I have explained what is the function, how to create a function. So when you are creating a function, how to create a function also I have explained, and the different types of functions also I have explained, like a predefined function, user defined functions, that already I have explained. So it is a predefined function. When you load the software, by default you will get that function. So if it is a predefined function, you no need to declare, you no need to define, you no need to call. But when you come to the user defined function, according to your requirement, you can design your own function in C++. So when you are designing your own function in C++, you need to follow some procedure. This topic already I have explained in the last class. So when you are creating a user defined function, you need to give a function prototype. So function prototype is nothing but, if it is a library function, it is a predefined function, compiler knows what is that function and what is the purpose of the function and what is the body of that function. But if it is a user defined function, compiler doesn't know what is the purpose of that function and what is the name of that function, how many parameters that function is going to declare, means how many parameters that function is consistent. The compiler doesn't know. So that is why when you are creating a user defined function, it is your responsibility to give complete information about your function. So when you are creating a user defined function, the first one is function prototype. So in the function prototype, what will give? User defined function name will give. See, when you use the variable, how will you give? Like this, you will give int a equals to 10. So what it means, you are declaring the name of the variable. Okay, what is the variable? That name you will give. Similarly, if you are creating a user defined function, it is a condition that you should inform your function name to the compiler. So when you inform a function name to the compiler, then what happens? Compiler will allocate some space to your function. So when you are giving a function prototype, what information you need to give in the function prototype is, what is the return type of that function, what is the name of the function, and how many parameters the function is going to take. That information you should give. Okay, and that function prototype should end with the semicolon. Now that is a function prototype. Just in the function prototype, we'll give the name of the user defined function. Now come to the function body. In the function body, we'll give what is the purpose of the function, for what purpose you are writing the function. There will give the complete body of the function. Okay, so when you give the function prototype, in the function body, function will not be executed. When the function will be executed, when you call the function by passing the value, at that time only the function will be executed. This part also already I have explained in the last class. So this call by value, call by reference, based on that only. Okay, call by value, when you are calling the function, there are different methods to call the user defined function. One is by using a call by value and the second one by using a call by reference. That now I will explain. Okay, so here just first I will write the function program, then you will come to know what is the function call. See, as usual, first I will write hash include I used to. We are including this header file in our program. Next, after this, using namespace st. Okay, so we are including this library file. When we are including this library file, whatever functions are available in that library file, all those functions we can use. Okay, now after this, here I am giving a one function int calculate. Okay, int calculate, and how many values it is taking? Only one value. Okay, so if it is a user defined function, actually generally we want to declare functions before the main. So here what I am doing, before the main only I am declaring a function. If it is a user defined function, it is a condition that all the user defined functions should be declared before the main function. Next, here I am giving a main function name int main. Okay, now after this, here I am declaring one variable int x equals to 10. One variable I am declaring here. So after this, directly and one more variable I am using y. Okay, so here one variable I am declaring and one more variable also I am declaring. Here this variable I have initialized and this variable is only I have declared. But in this variable what I want to store is, I want to store the result of this calculate function. calculate x. So when control comes to this line, no, it will jump to the body of that function. So here I am giving the body of the function. I will explain that. Next, Cout. Cout is the output statement, and next one print this. Right. So where is the y value? Actually, y value is nothing but this function should be executed, and whatever result you will get that from that function, that will be stored in a y. So here I will write the function int calculate int x. Okay. So this is a user-defined function. Right? How you can identify it as a user-defined function? Because before the main function only, I have given the prototype. So if you have given a prototype, what it means, that is a user-defined function. Now it is a function, it should have a basis. Because function is a block of statements, whatever statements are there in the function, that should be enclosed between a braces. Here, just what I am doing is, int x equals to x plus 10 and okay, x equals to, just I'm adding a 10, that's it. Right? Next, Cout or return x. So when you give the return x, what happens? Control comes to this. Yeah. The result is stored in a y. So when the main function is calling a user-defined function, no? That user-defined function should give some result, and that result should return back to the main function by using the return statement. Okay. Now here, when this function is executing, when the main function is calling the user-defined function, and that means when control comes to this line, this function will be executed. Till that time, the function will be in a idle state. It won't be executed. Just it will be created and it will be used later. But when that function will be executed, when you call, at that time only the function will be executed. Right? And who is calling here? Main function. So main function is called as a calling function. And this user-defined function is called as a called function. Main function is calling user-defined. So this is called as a calling function, and this is called as a called function. So always you remember one point, main function will only call the user-defined function. User-defined function cannot execute independently. Okay, when the user-defined function will be executed, when the main function calls the user-defined function, at that time only the user-defined function will be executed. So here the main function is calling the user-defined function. How it is calling? By passing the value here. See here, what is the x value? 10. So when x is here means what it means here, 10 is there. So here the main function is calling user-defined function. Main function is calling user-defined function by passing the value. So when the main function is calling a user-defined function by passing the value, that method is called as a call by value. This was the first one. Okay, so when the main function is calling the user-defined function. Why it is calling? Because when the main function is called the user-defined function, then only the user-defined function will be executed. So when the main function is calling the user-defined function, at that time only the user-defined function will be executed. So there are different methods in calling user-defined function also. One is by using a call by value, and the second one by using a call by reference. Okay, so when the main function is calling user-defined function by passing the value, okay, by passing the value, then that method is called as a call by value. And here one more point you need to remember is, when the main function is calling user-defined function by passing the value. Okay, by passing the value, what it means? Here the x value is fixed. In the here, whatever this formal parameter is there, no? Whatever value passing to the user-defined function, that value is fixed. Okay, so this is called as a callback, means calling a function, calling a user-defined function by passing the value. Clear? You take screenshot of this. Now this is the call by value. The next one is the call by reference. Call by reference already have given. So in a call by reference, what we do is, see in the call by value already I have explained, there will give the direct value. See in the previous example I have given x equals to 10. No? So in that what happened, whatever value you are passing to the user defined function, that value is fixed. But if you want to, if you don't want to fix the value, if the user defined the function want to change the value, modify the value, then we use the second method, call by reference. In this case, what we do is, instead of passing value to a user defined function, what we do is we give the address of the formal parameters, address of the actual parameters to the formal parameters. Then this formal parameters can directly access the actual parameters. Okay, actual parameters value. So here the same example program I will give you. See, hash include IO string. This is a header file. Now by including one library file using namespace std. Next, what was the user defined function there? Here example I gave you the void calculate. Void calculate, here I will give the parameter instead of normal variable, here I will give the pointer variable. Why here we will give the why here I am giving the pointer variable? Because this variable is used to store the address of another variable. Okay, actually this is a user defined function variable. This variable is used to store the address of main function variable, that is the actual parameter. Okay, now come to the main function here. Int main. Now here I am giving int x comma y. X equal x comma y. Right, x comma y. Next, what I am doing is actually here I forgot to change the value. X equals to 10 comma y. Now I will calculate. I will call the user defined function y calculate ampersand x here. So here ampersand x means it is called as a memory address operator. Memory address operator. So instead of value, what I am giving address to this variable. So that in the user defined function, whatever formal parameters are there, that formal parameters can access this memory address. Means they can modify the value of that memory address. Okay, previously in the call by value, I have given directly value, no? So when if the value is given directly, then what happened? When this user defined function can take that value and it can use that value. But when the user defined function execution is over, then what happened? That whatever basic value was there, that will be written in the system, in the memory. So value is not changed using the call by value. But if you are using a call by reference, you are using the memory address. So in that memory address, whatever variable value was there, no, that you can modify by using a call by reference. Now see out. So this is the main function. Now when you call the user defined function, what will happen is void calculate. Here we use the void calculate int asterisk p. Here what happened? This ampersand x. So remember the memory means memory address of this variable is stored in that pointer variable. So as already explained, pointer variables are used to store the address of another variable. So here this pointer variable is stored in the address of this ampersand x. Okay. Now p equals to asterisk p plus 10. Now return. This is a call by reference. Reference means here only one point you need to remember. Here directly x I am not giving. If I give the x, that is a call by value. In the x, whatever value is there, that is supplied to a user defined function. Here what I am giving? Ampersand x. See example. Is the x. In that x, what is the value? Check. And this example, ampersand x means example is our address is there, no? This is called as a memory address. Using a call by reference, we will give the memory address. So that whatever value is there in that memory address, that can be accessed. Okay, so memory address. So here we are, what we are giving the memory address. We are not exactly giving a value of x. Okay, if you are directly giving a value of x, then that is called as a call by value. Directly you are giving a value. That user defined function can use that value. Okay, and after using that value, if the user defined function execution is over, whatever modifications are done by the user defined function, that will be means undo, that will be cancelled, and the main variable value will be 10. But if you are using a call by reference, whatever new value you are storing, that will be in the memory. That is a call by reference. Okay, so call by value, call by reference are the two methods. When we use that, when you are calling a user defined function. Okay, when you are calling the user defined function directly by passing the value, that is a call by value. And if you are calling the user defined function by passing a reference, okay, by here what reference we are giving? Memory address, so that the user defined function can access that memory, modify that memory, whatever value is there, that can be, means whatever modifications the user defined function want to perform that memory, it can perform. That is called as a call by reference. See this, already for this I have given one example, call by value. If I want a pen and two students are there, okay, and one student is there, and directly that student is giving me a pen, that is a call by value, directly is giving, but he is giving an address of the pen, where the actual pen, that is the reference. That is the two things you need to remember. See, directly if you are taking a value, if the directly user defined function is taking the value, that is a call by value. And if the user defined function is taking the address of the variable, it is not taking actual value, it is taking the address of the variable, that is called as a call by reference. Okay, you can expect these two questions in short. Okay. Now we will discuss about one more topic here. So your next topic is inline function. The next topic is inline function. Okay, so inline functions similar to user defined functions. User defined function. The difference is that, is example, if it is a user defined function, when the function will be executed and when the function will be loaded into your memory, when you call that function, at that time only that function will be loaded into your memory. Example, you have not called a function. Then what happened? That function will not be executed. Right. So whenever you want to execute a user defined function, then it is a condition that every time you need to load. Okay, otherwise it will not be executed. But in some cases, when you are writing a program, some functions are there. That functions are simple functions, general functions that every time should be loaded. I don't want to call that function. Okay, so in every program I need some function, and that function should be loaded every time without my calling. Okay, so such functions you can create as an inline function. So when you create any function as an inline function, then what happens? You don't need to call. When program compilation starts, automatically that function will be loaded into your program. That is called as an inline function. Okay. Only one point you need to remember is, if it is a user defined function and if it is a predefined function also, example main is a predefined function. Every time what we do, if you call that functions, at that time only that function will be loaded into your memory. Suppose you have some functions and that functions are common in all the program. Then instead of calling every time, if that function loads itself, it increase your program performance. So that such functions you can declare as a inline function. Okay, so when you declare any function as actually by default whatever functions you declare inside the class, that functions are inline function. Okay, so inline functions, what happened is it doesn't need a prototype. Okay, it does not require any prototype. It does not require any calling. But here only the thing is you no need to declare, you no need to call. Directly you give the function body. When control comes to that line, that function will be executed. But if it is an inline function, that inline function should be preceded with the inline keyword. So if any function is preceded as an inline, then what it means, you no need to call, directly that function will be loaded to your program. Okay. But here advantage is there and a disadvantage is there with this inline function. What is the advantage here? See, one small function is there. That function we need in each and every program. Then what happened? That function you can declare as an inline function. But some functions, see, when you create inline functions, when you declare any function as an inline, you don't need to call, automatically that will be loaded as already explained. So if it is a small function, frequently you are using, then no problem, you can declare that function as an inline. But function with a huge body, like that function contains 10 to 20 lines of code, and rarely we are using, and if you are declaring that as an inline, then every time that function is loading. So when 20 lines of code is loading every time, then what happens? That decreases your program performance. So whatever function you are declaring, whatever function you are using rarely, that you can declare as a user defined function. But whatever function you are using frequently and that which is having a small lines of code, that you can declare as a inline. The function which is having a more number of lines, more number of code, more huge code, then if you won't declare that function as an inline, it is better. It will increase your program performance. Okay, so small function which is using frequently, that you declare as an inline, so that it will increase your program performance. Only the thing is, the function which is your which you don't want to call, which should be loaded default. Actually, you can say that inline functions are the default functions. Okay, that you can declare as an inline. So without calling that function, automatically that function will be loaded into your program. Okay, so that are called as an inline. So by default, whatever functions you declare inside the class, all those functions are inline. Okay, now here I will give you the syntax of inline function. Directly I am giving the body. Inline is a keyword. Next, return type, function name, and here you give the return type and it is similar to your user defined function only. Just extra what we are adding, just we are adding the inline keyword. So when you get the inline keyword, by default that function will be called. You don't need to call that function. Now example here, what I am doing is return x plus 10. Okay. So the thing is, when you declare the function, when you create the inline function, when you give this keyword node, at that time only the body of the function should be given. There is no separate declaration, there is no separate calling and all. Once if you have added keyword inline, that function should be defined at the time of declaration. There is no separate code for a prototype and a function. Okay, you take screenshot of this. I'll give you one example program. So here, actually, all the functions are inline function as I said. Now I will give the class definition. Hash include string. Next, using namespace. std, and I am creating a class A example. In the class already I have given the structure of class. Next, your access specifier public and if you have declared any function or any variable inside the public section, then what happened? That can be used by any child classes. Here I am giving inline function, inline example A. What is the concept? You need to give the written type of int A. So here inline is a keyword, A is the name of the function. Only one cancellation. Int is a data type, A is a function. Example, int x. Only one parameter I am taking. Now, return x plus 10. Example. Okay. Now, close this. Over. Now I have given the user defined function. Sorry, inline function. Now, according to the syntax, class should end with the closing brace and semicolon. So here the class is starting and here ending the class. Okay. Now after closing the class, come to the main function, void main. Inside the main, you create a object for this. If you have created anything inside the class, that you can access by using a object. Class name, object name. Okay, so if you have created any function, any variable in the class, so that you can access by using the object. Now, directly you can execute the inline function by passing the value. Okay, directly you can execute the inline function by passing the value. Right? Here I will execute now. P.ob cout. ob dot, what is the function? A. ob dot A 10 example. That's it. What is the x value here? 10. 10 plus 10, 20 will be displayed. Here, this is an inline keyword. So that here, see one thing we can observe here, I have not given any prototype and I have not given any calling string. Directly, I have given the inline function body and using an object I am calling this. Okay. And here if you have created a class, you should give either it is a public or private. So this function I am giving as a public. So when you have given any function as a public, directly you can call. Right? So if this is a main function, the program execution starts from a main function. In the main function, I have created an object for this class. This is an object. So when you have created an object, what object for any class. So in this class, whatever properties are there, all those properties can be accessed by using this object. Okay. Example, class is a template. In that class, if you have a function, if you have a variable, all those can be accessed by object. See, if it is a class, object-oriented programming, directly you cannot execute this. If you are using a class, using the object only, you can execute because object is like a key of that class. So when the object is created for that class, at that time only class will get the memory. Otherwise, class won't get the memory. Now, here cout ob dot a of 10. Here a is a function, 10 is a value. Okay, so here I am not calling the inline function, directly it is executing. Why? Because it is an inline. So when it is an inline function, you no need to declare, you no need to call. Okay, it is a part of your program. When the compilation starts, at that time only that function will be loaded into your memory. So this is about this class. Next, we will continue in the next class.